Hey everyone, I'm Brian Varnell with Varnell Retro and Vintage Collections. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the My Life in Toys book by writer-director Brian Levant. Let's open it up and take a look. My Life in Toys highlights the vast collection of Brian Levant's movie memorabilia, toys, and much more. What I really like about this book is that it starts off kind of like a movie. You have a script and a storyboard, and it tells a story about how Brian Levant goes to a self-help group because he said he has a collection addiction. Again, it's a really interesting way to start a book like this. In the book, you get an insight to some of the things in Brian Levant's collection, including a lot of his Beatle memorabilia, which includes action figures and figurines, his Hulk Hogan collection, his Marx Brothers collection. I have a few Marx Brothers items myself, including DVDs and a duck of Groucho. The Lone Ranger. I myself have a Lone Ranger tin lunchbox in my office. Several classic Superman and Batman 60s memorabilia. Again, I am a huge fan of the Batman 60s show, and even have done a video talking about some of my retro Batman action figures. One thing I really found interesting was a lot of his Munsters collection. Now recently they came out with a new Munsters movie. I personally thought that Brian Levant should have been the director behind that movie. He has a large bottle collection. Collecting bottles has always been a hobby of mine as well. He also showcased some of his Star Trek memorabilia, his vast watch collection. Collecting novelty watches has always been something I've done since I was a kid. I have several different novelty watches on my wall, my office. He has some Oscar Mayer Wiener memorabilia, and one of the cars in his collection I actually have as well. In his Mickey Mouse section, he has a Mickey Mouse phone, which again is something I've had since I was a kid. Now, a lot of things in Brian Levant's collection happen to coincide with shows and movies he worked on, and one of those things is Happy Days. He was a writer and also a supervising producer on Happy Days. So in this book, you get to see a lot of the different Happy Days memorabilia in his collection. He also wrote for spin-offs of Happy Days like Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley. As well as Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Mork and Mindy, another show he worked on was the new Leave It to Beaver. He also wrote the 1997 reboot movie Leave It to Beaver for Disney. You can see all the different types of Leave It to Beaver memorabilia he has, like magazines, books, and even Leave It to Beaver board games. Now, one of the most biggest movies Brian Levant worked on was the Flintstones and Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas. And you can tell he was a huge Flintstone fan just by looking at his collection. Now, what's really cool about this is that as I was going through it, I noticed that some of the things he has were things that I had growing up. Also, he has an advertisement for the McDonald's Happy Meal toys from the Flintstone movie. These two cards here I actually have in my collection. And of course, you can't talk about Brian Levant without talking about probably his most biggest pop culture film, Jingle All the Way. And in this book, you get to see the original Turbo Man action figure that was in the movie, along with the other action figures that were showcased in the movie but were never released to the public. Jingle All the Way was one of those movies I always had to watch around the holiday season. So now, being able to own a Turbo action figure of my own is really cool. So there you have it, a brief glimpse into the book My Life in Toys by Brian Levant. There's so much more in this book I didn't talk about. So if you want to see more, I highly recommend going to Amazon and purchasing this book. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch more of my videos, and follow me on Instagram at Varnell Vintage, where I post photos of all the random things here in my office. I'm Brian Varnell. Thanks for watching.